We bring to you Excel++, a path-breaking data automation, analytics, and AI tool built natively for Microsoft Excel. We all know Excel is indispensable, but I have challenges when I use large data. I have to keep working on repetitively the same steps every week, every month. When I use pivots, formulas, and charts extensively, Excel is bulky and slow. Every time I have to refresh, I have to do it manually. Applying formulas is prone to manual errors and operational errors, and it requires significant time and learning to do macros, customizations, and hand over to a new person. With this and a lot of other challenges that Excel has, we bring to you a native tool built in Excel called Excel++, which resolves this and many other challenges and puts you on a track of complete automation on Excel without the need of any other tool. With Excel++, I can connect to a CSV file with millions and tens of millions of records or databases. I can create Excel++ templates which allow import, data processing, process configuration, export the same into various files, create dashboards, pivot tables, custom slicers, which are again dynamic and perform at blazing speed with a large data set. So we move ahead with the actual demo from here. As you can see, this is our Excel++ menu. We start by configuring the import. So as you can see, it's a completely GUI driven tool. I can select the CSV file or the Excel file from where I'm going to pick certain data, pick up columns that I need. It puts up the CSV file in a columnar representation. I can do group bys, I can do unique key combinations, provide the destination sheet where I need the output, and even put one or multiple conditions that I need to apply even before importing the data. So once I've done all of this, I just update and close. And as you can see, this entire import configuration is right in my input tab. What I do now is do import data and see within a second, you have a large amount of data coming from a file which has 256 columns and 8,000 records. Further, I move on to process configuration. So in process configuration, it allows me to automate one or multiple step complex data transformation process setup. And again, I don't have to write any code for it. It's a no code, low code tool. As you can see, my GUI screens allow me to pick up now data from what I have imported in a tabular format. I can select those columns, I can select those sheets, and I can put these conditions here. It allows to give me a query builder. So it has brought up all of this. I just do refresh and my data transformed or my data summaries are right up on this tab, as you can see here. While we are working with a sample data set, we can always work with your data set, which is into millions of records or lesser than that, but very complex, and we can show you how it can work for you. And it can save you tens and hundreds and thousands of man hours of time and accuracy. So you see, we have got this particular thing here. We have got a formula bar on the top. We have got a sorting and filtering bar on the top, which are dynamic in nature. I don't have to drag formulas. I can mention it at one point and it is applicable to the entire sheet. As you can see, what we are doing here is now sorting and filtering as well. Now further we move ahead with the other features, which is to produce charts, data sets, and slices based on the process that we have done. So on the query builder screen for the data table that we are generating, which eventually we will use that data table for our pivots and charts. This is the GUI screen where I can pick and build with a drag and drop interface the data table that I would like to view. I have group by date, and then we are putting the sorting. And here you see we have the data table generated, and we then move on to creating charts based on this data table. I can select a certain data range, select from a wide options of the charts that are available, define the XY values, switch the axis. So we've selected the range. We put the date on the X, pick up some of the other columns that we need on the Y side. Close. Here you go. Here's the chart. We can select and drag and drop the chart. Now remember, this data set and the chart both are dynamic. If we go ahead and change the data source from the file, or I have a new set of data tomorrow morning, everything from data processing to data chart generation, data table and charts, everything is going to refresh within a minute. And I'll have all the new outcomes. And that is the power of Excel++. In terms of repeatability, once you have configured your template, you can just use that template every week, every month to produce the outcomes on new data sources. What we are doing now here is exporting this file, and we can possibly export in multiple formats. We can put it to a PDF, PowerPoint. We can send this file by email or upload it to OneDrive or SharePoint, whichever is suitable based on the need. And this is again a GUI screen that allows you to configure the export of the outcome file. This also is templatized or is part of the template, and thus when you automate this whole process and you run the template, it's also going to automate the export process. So practically, as you see from data import, transformation, charts to export, everything is part of the automation, and the entire template covers this entire automation, and thus you don't need any other third-party tool to create a complete data transformation automation for various processes in your company across various departments. I click now, I've defined, I click on Excel to PPT, and it's going to generate a new PowerPoint with the charts and everything. So I'm ready to go. I can just take these and use it for my internal reporting or presentations as I would need it. And as you can see, this is the template for export. Now we move on to the job automation. So once we have defined the entire process, including export, I have an ability to define a job. So here's the name of the job. I say daily something, and on the left you see at the bottom you have a complete task list that has been created based on the individual steps you have defined until now, right from import. So I've added this job, and now I'm going to expand this task list, and I'm going to select which tasks I need as part of my job. So I can have all of them serially lined up, or I can pick some of them, the ones that I need, and exclude the other ones and define the entire job here. So you see the job is also now part of the template, and this job automates a set of tasks that I would like to run every time the process is run. Now I go and do the scheduling for this job. So I have a beautiful calendar here. I can set up the time when it has to run, and as you see, once I have defined this start date, the frequency, the time, and I have saved this and added this, it adds this job to the scheduler, and the scheduler would bring up Excel at that time, load your template, the template connects to the new data source in predefined location. So here you see we're going to move a new file to the same predefined folder. We've defined a template on one of the current files. Now we're replacing that file with a new file with the same structure. Obviously you can have the same structure and you can add more rows, more columns to it. It's still going to keep working. Even if the column structuring changes, it still works. You don't need to have all the columns at the right same location. But as you see, all of this is defined, and at a predefined time it will load up the Excel and perform the entire set of the job automation. So you see now the scheduler has brought up the Excel, loaded the template automatically, and it is executing the entire process, and within a minute or less than a minute you would have the entire process recomputed based on the new file. That's the power of the template and the scheduling engine that runs right within your Excel. So you see you have all the tabs with new data sets, new summaries that it has produced based on the new file. So you can imagine how much time it can save once you have set up the entire data transformation process for a particular process in your organization or department and have automated it using Excel++. Reach us at excelplus.com. You can visit our website for more information. We will schedule a very detailed demo to show you the power of this tool, and we are also open to doing a proof of concept with your specific requirement or your specific data. Do reach out to us. Thank you for your time. Look forward.